Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. The end of the week is here, so it's time to talk about some manga that we read. Which I think this week and next week are gonna be a bit lesser because of the whole Golden Week happening in Japan, but regardless, we still have some manga because I think it's like a thing where some series release their chapters before Golden Week, well, basically complete their chapters before Golden Week, but they don't do anything during Golden Week, so regardless, we still have chapters so we can talk. Although there's some series that have chapters already out, it's just they don't have translated, but that's besides the point. Anyways, let's start this week with Shy chapter 123 titled Welcome to Neverland. Which, honestly, which honestly, this chapter is kind of like half and half in terms of like welcome to a place, but still, I would say it's more than One Piece though. But regardless, let's get into this chapter. So we start this chapter with some orphan kid, well, orphan kid who's wishing for Neverland because he's homeless and again a kid, so he has like some. He wears a really like raggedy clothing and just has like I think even a crooked umbrella. It was probably just something. It's probably like the closest for something he probably just found in a dumpster or something. As he's holding a kind of and he's wishing to go to Neverland because again his life sucks and the way Amaru set that place up is something that anyone would want to get, and all you have to do is like get an umbrella, which means that there's probably going to be an increase in umbrella thefts. Thinking about it, but regardless, we have this kid doing this, and he does manage to get into Neverland. And unfortunately for the kid, being an orphan kid who's lives homeless, is that as soon as he sees it, I don't want to say he's overjoyed to a point of unconsciousness, or if it's just the natural the natural feeling, the natural causes, but he falls unconscious and he drops to the ground with some noticing, oh wait, this kid just fell down. So yeah. Then we cut to the heroes where we also get a bit of an update and we find out that throughout the world a lot of people have been disappearing who were using the umbrella. They don't know if people are wishing for it or if it's just some kind of accident because they mention they are telling the people to not go outside on rainy days because you have to have your umbrella on that. So they are telling them not to do it. And we did see what's her name? The one that's Shy's best friend, possible love interest. We see her also with umbrella, but I don't think she will participate in this part. So I think she's just generally showing maybe she's trying to get into it. Again, maybe the idea is that people have to actively wish to get there, but regardless, we find out about this stuff. And also one thing I know that's very disturbing is the fact we see a baby underneath an umbrella as we see like a bunch of umbrellas behind it. Not entirely certain if this is supposed to imply that a mother took not certain if this is supposed to imply that a mother took left her baby to go to the Neverland, or if this is meant to be taken as because the baby wasn't holding on and wasn't able to think of wishing to be in Neverland, or which one of this is. But regardless, it's kind of a weird thing. Well, a disturbing thing, not weird, but you get what I mean. Like it's not a good thing. So yeah. Anyways, then we cut to I'm guessing the American ship that was attacked by Holy because we have like soldiers guys doing like the salute Stardust entering as then he tells the military guys, it's fine, I'm not a soldier, you don't have to do the salute, I'm not some general or something. As he enters a room where he has like a hero's meeting where we see him, Sentry, who is not in his hero costume and is banged up but is recovering. The French hero, what's the name? What's his name? Whatever. The painter, the German hero who we finally see which is fine because he's been gone for so long, and new hero called Haltia, who is a hero from Finland. As we have them all entering, and we have a bit of a commentary from Sentry being like, oh, well, from Star being like, oh, Sentry, you're really banged up, how you really got beaten. And Sentry's like, I wasn't beaten, there's just the scars of combat. As he then looks at Haltia, where he's like surprised by her face because she has like this exaggerated angry growl face. But she reveals to him that she's not actually feeling this. Like, she's very much a happy girl because she's generally a very cheerful individual. It's just that in this, because everyone else is very serious, like even the French hero, who is usually the jokester, the trickster more of the group, is serious, so she kind of wanted to imitate everyone else, but unfortunately for her, it just kind of looks comical. I mean, looking at her face in general, you can kind of tell that it's going to be revealed that she's not that serious about the situation, it's just that she's, trying to be kind of reflect good on the people. Funny enough, Light is actually playing a major role in the current arc in the raw where the Shy manga is right now in the Japanese translated versions, well, or the Japanese released versions. So yeah, nice to see her being set up here. So yeah, we are thinking like a bit of a we get some information being revealed that the way the heroes are interpreting the people who are in Neverland is like hostages that they cannot really rescue from because these hostages kind of come there willingly. Like, it's manipulation, it's deception, it's a bunch of trickery. That's the reason why they are going there willingly and all that. But they know they can't really act much. Like, they cannot start bombing their ship. They cannot like attack with full force because again they're like a bunch of people, and the ones who are actually they're I remember like a very small group of children, so you can't really fight them in the conventional sense. So they can't. So they're in a bad position. And then we get to a little bit of a conflict between Sentry and Stardust because Sentry wants to like save these children because again, Amarimu just traumatized, mentally um, harmed children. He wants to find a way that they can reason or stop everything. But Stardust is just. I think he's just saying it more antagonistically, just for the sake of saying it more antagonistically. So they need to wipe them out. I'm sure he means it more in the sense of make sure that like the entire group falls apart. It's not like one of those. All right, we all stop messing with the cities and let everyone go back home. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's meant more in a. All right, this is now just. I guess. All right, you all were sent to different orphanages or something. But because of the way Stardust is, he just comes off more antagonistic towards Sentry, and they both get into a bit of a conflict here, which it looks like they're about to go further down. But thanks to Halita's power, she's able to calm them down, or at the very least distract them enough for them to, as a bridge a la carte would say, well, that's a boner killer right there. So the two of them stop their conflict, and also they get told by Unilord this isn't the time to be infighting among heroes because again they're in a crisis situation right now. As Unilord, because she's on a monitor, which is the reason why she wasn't there when Stardust entered the room. She explains to them a bit about the situation with Stigma's power here, where she says that it's people's wishes that is giving them the weather powers because they're making this bad weather everywhere, and everyone's getting really depressed, which is causing more people to want to leave to go to Neverland. Like the whole world is essentially is covered in rain. Well, I mean, I'm not entirely certain if the country that Pumping was in a couple chapters ago is covered in rain, but regardless of how you look at it, although I guess in their version, rain would probably be a good thing, considering the fact that Thumping literally thought about sending a bomb in the air to cause a rain to start. But regardless, as they are in a situation, because it's the power that's causing the rain, they need to find a way to stop and find a solution towards it. And those characters are gonna be focusing on that, like finding a way to stop people's despair, so they would be wishing for bad weather, but start wishing for good, you know, for good stuff, and that whole mental kind of thing. And before we leave from them, they have said that they hope that the team of heroes who are currently in the Neverland, they'll be able to stay safe and beat their opponents because they think they are currently in combat. And which is very funny because we immediately cut to Pilse and she's having a father-daughter time with him. as they are going around with in the Neverland, and yeah, like we see them, like we don't see them, like we see them like her holding her father's hand and playing in a like her like, hey dad, look, let's go to that carnival wheel or whatever it's called. Well, actually, I think it's called the Ferris wheel. Oh, let's go to that ride. As he's like, all right, go. But don't worry, rides aren't going anywhere. You know, it's kind of like that kind of interaction going on here. Something that Bill's always wanted because her father never had time for her when she was a child, and then he died, and yeah, things did not go well. So we have this interaction between them going on here. So yeah. Anyway, so while Pills and her father, I think, eating ice cream, something, one they hear one of the kids or someone mentioning, "Hey, that kid just passed out." Being the orphan kid in the beginning of the chapter, the one who came to it and immediately passed out. Someone is reacting. I'm assuming it's like one of those timeline's a bit skewy, but it's relatively should be far about the same time. Like this kid came at the time where Pilse and her father sat down with their ice cream or something, thing like that. Like I'm doubting that everyone was just kind of kid first out. And he just like wandered for several hours until this kid, without someone finally spoke up. Oh, I guess this kid not unconscious. Should we do something about this? At least mention it. So I'm guessing we will have. So I'm guessing we will have character. So yeah, I'm guessing the timeline is a bit more together than it's kind of shown here. And Pilsa says first response to hearing the news is trying to go help. Again, she's from a family of her father's a doctor and she's a nurse. So yeah, we have. Well, she's a doctor in training kind of thing, or is she a nurse in training? Like one of the, she's in the medical school. So her natural, and she's a hero, so her natural response is go get, help the kid, but her father, very uncharacteristically, certainly, tells her, why are you going in there? You don't have to. Leave that, that's an issue for the staff. Let us, you and me just focus on having our family time. That is what you wanted, right? Because, kind of throwing Pilsa's words, well, not really back in her face, but like, saying what reminding Pilsa what she wanted, and this kind of things that she was the reason why she was against them in the first place. Like she hated it when she was a child, but I'm assuming now that if her father still survived, she would kind of understand why they would jump. Like if this was an actual moment, like this was her actual father, and this was like them actually going to a theme park and Pilsen right now, she would definitely not. She and her father would both respond in helping the kid first. Like they would definitely, like go there, checking on the kid, saying, "Oh, all right, let's, I can analyze this. I'll tell this. Let's go." Like they would probably. I'm not times. I don't think they would like. I know the father would like grab the kid and drag him to his car and ride him to his car, to a hospital. I'm assuming he would be like, "Okay, let's take this kid to a staff and explain to him what's up." So when on staff doctors show up, like outside of like a life or death emergency, I don't really think a doctor has to actively like start doing his medical stuff or his utilize his skill as on the on the person who needs medical help. Unless again it's life or death thing or something like horrific, like at a moment, like if it was an accident. Things that you generally have to respond anyways, but regardless in this situation because this is just a vision of her father that's meant to have her be overjoyed. Pills, he is obviously not gonna be telling Pistol to not do anything, to just have their family time and just leave the child to a staff, which are in this case just a bunch of robots that are just, I guess, taking him on a gurney, and then locate parents. No parents around. Take him to the child finding center or something. Which I question how many people are actually gonna be like that here because, I mean, if the babies of any concern, it seems like people are randomly being teleported here. Which is kind of a weird concept when you consider what's going to happen to Pilsen in the next couple of chapters. So, who is the child? Who's the adult here exactly? But anyways, after that we cut to Kufufu, mostly just to show that she's there, who is working at a ice cream store. She's like making some ice cream, and she's kind of talking. I don't want to say she's talking to the kids, but more making kind of a, maybe she's singing it or just telling her thoughts out loud. That she's telling them, fun is the thing that matters. Fun is what we should be doing. It doesn't matter if you become fat from too much ice cream or if your teeth start rotting. Because what matters first and foremost is having fun right now. As she like gives ice cream to a bunch of to three children, most like possibly adults, maybe possibly not. But regardless, she's giving them ice cream, which is I guess nice seeing that Kufu didn't get some kind of in a super high position to herself. She just kind of was like, "Oh, here's the ice cream your kids wanted," kind of thing. It's just a nice thing. Kind of wish we would see Spirit and Kufufu working together, but I can understand why we don't have that. But yeah, anyways, as that's happening, we also have the bots who are carrying this kid away, getting destroyed because Shia appears and she's there saving the child. Mostly because she thinks something bad is gonna happen to the child if she leaves them to these robots, which is very likely. As she tells Vinilo, she tells Shrimpy that this was supposed to be a stealth mission, yet this is very much not a stealth mission because she's in her hero costume destroying robots and causing a scene. And Shrimp is like, nothing could have been done. We have to do what we have to. We are heroes after all. So yeah, and that's the end of the chapter, which is most definitely setting up a battle between Shaw and Kufufu, which is a very logical thing because Kufufu has as far as I'm assuming if you ask any hero, they'll think that magical girl we had captured most likely has spirit. I mean, Stigma even said to Spirit, you you are invited to you to be the first to join our country by Kufu's request. Which I'm not saying that woman that was normal in that scene or heard that part or she was still there because she was acting to all the political leaders act like children, but regardless. But yeah, anyways, with Shy out of the way, let's get to Peak, which is 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you and each other, namely each other. Chapter 174 titled Usa-chan is clingy. Honestly, I'm not surprised by this chapter because, let's be honest, so as soon as like Usa kind of gave us her initial deal in her introduction chapters, we can kind of guess that she was going to be like a Stakuri clingy type. So yeah, we start this chapter by we first have Usa and Rentaro interactions a bit where we see like that Usa is running into Rentaro and being like Rentaro. Well, I think it's Rentaro-chan. Like a lot. And she has a lot of repeat as Rentaro is a chat, so he's like, Usa, I'm so happy that she comes to me every time to inform me everything. Although it seems like she just likes to repeat the names. Are we certain that she's not a Pokemon? I'm just saying, if the Nurse Joy is a Pokemon fairy, just evolved to help a Pokemon in a different way, true, I'm not impossible that Usa is just in between. Also, I could also see this being a thing. As then we find out that after some time, Rento, well, despite how much of a child he is still a human on some degree, so he got unfortunately sick. As then we have the girlfriend's reactions, which is basically just a fourth wall joke where they're like, well, when he's not, I mean, he does go way beyond human limits constantly. And then Kishika's even like, and we did literally just have 3 chapters in a row where he got sick because of someone, as she's holding Kusuru in the lap in her hands right now. As Kusuru's like, yes, it's my fault again, most likely because of the things I'm having him drink. Which is kind of funny because there's like no reason to hold her like this. She's just I don't know. Is it kind of supposed to be that Kusuro tried to run away from the blame or something? Well, regardless, it doesn't matter. The girlfriends are just kind of, well, Renta's gone. Well, it's gonna be gone for a while to heal. So they have to like make plans and see how they're gonna help him recover quickly. Bring stuff over. Which I do wish we would get to see how this kind of would look like if they would if no, Renta was like normally sick, and they would be like from a parent's perspective, like, oh hey, there's a group of girls coming here that are bringing him some food that is very useful when you're ill. All right, good. Next day, a new group of girls. The next day, a new group of girls. The next day, a new group of girls. Or how many girls does Renta does care about Awesome that much that they are bringing him stuff all the time? Like, I really wish we do see this at some point. Because I feel just the reaction to it first would just be hilarious. Especially if it's like a different girl every day. But regardless, we don't see it because this is a Usa and Mimi chat. So because when the characters are discussing this, we have Usa kind of getting paranoid because her thing is that she gets very easily. She has this thing where she needs to be surrounded by people and give people attention, but because of her clingy personality, people have kind of always, well, she kind of always push people away. Like, we don't want to hang out with you, you're too clingy or too stalkery, you're just too much and we need to go away. So, yeah, Usa is scared, but luckily Mimi is there to tell her, well, if Rentaro you can't, be around Rentaro, then you can be around me. After all, it is only natural that in my attempt to be the most beautiful woman in existence, would also have as beautiful a heart as Rentaro, because Rentaro again goes way beyond every human limit and logic for his girlfriends. So yeah, this is gonna be very much a second year chapter, which is something I think a lot of people were wanting because for a while, not for a very long time, even was like the only second year. I think she was like actually no. Oh wait. So we have. I think she was the. I think she's the 10th girlfriend, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and we are currently in almost 30, so like almost 20 chapters or 20 girlfriends later that we finally get someone that's the same year and age as Screaming, so it's nice to finally get to see this. So yeah, anyways, we see that what this life is, where we have like what being with Usa is like, where we have Mimi go just doing normal stuff like being in her classroom, walking in the quarters and all that, where Usa just shows up and is like, Mimi-chan, Mimi-chan, Mimi-chan. Oh, actually, I wouldn't be Chan because, actually, would it be Chan? I think it's implied that Usa is older than Mimi, but, by a month kind of thing. But regardless, she constantly says, Mimi-chan, 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 Mimi-chan. And then we end the first day with Mimi going to her family quarters, her family house, and she falls face first, like, she's too much. How the heck did Renta is able to handle her? Because, being constantly stuck around by a girl who's constantly just saying Mimi-chan to you all the time, because it's implied that she doesn't even say more, she repeats the name like a Pokemon. But regardless, Mimi's first idea is like, wait, no, Renta was able to handle this. It just proves the big gap between my heart and Renta's heart. If I want to have as beautiful a heart as he does, then I have to solve this issue. And then the idea that Mimi gets, because she cannot handle all this Mimi-chan in her ear, is if I counter do the same thing she does, but to her, then she would obviously her loneliness would be more cured. If she's the only one who goes to people, she would probably feel lonely. So if I go to her, she would not feel as lonely. And so we start the day. So I'm assuming this is the start of the day, and she goes to Usa-chan, does Usa-chan, which makes Usa really happy. She has like a very joyful face. Unfortunately, this doesn't go the way Mimi thinks, because all this does is kind of make Usa wanna do it more. And when I say more, I mean her being it is sitting right next to her, so close they could kiss, kinda. Actually, even breaking up, they could like kiss. That's how close they are right now. As her saying her name, to a point it's even in a bathroom stall. Like, I don't mean just in the bathroom, I'm talking like the same stall. Like, Mimi is going, while Usa is looking. Oh, I don't know if she's looking at her, but it's like she's right next to her. And Mimi's like, this backfired massively. So, yeah, and then after a certain. Then after some time, Mimi, like Mimi kind of gets like doesn't vocally say anything against it, but Usa kind of looks at Mimi's face and she realizes she's going too far. She's going, yeah, you are too much. You. This is the part where people would say, no, we don't want to associate with you. Go away, kind of deal. And Mimi can guess it. Usa can guess it. Like it's like one of those things where you can at least assume when you go too far this is what this moment is. And Usa is like, oh, sorry, I'm just gonna go. And she kind of goes sad because she realized she went too far. So Mimi's like, oh shit, I revealed I couldn't. We have to solve this issue some way. As Mimi now realizes that she herself cannot handle this. Like, she's not Rento. She cannot handle Usa's constant clinging. So she go in their next girls' meeting or whatever you want to call it. She goes to the rest of the girlfriends. I'm assuming she probably contacted all of them beforehand to that they would all arrive before USA, so she doesn't think, so she doesn't learn about this. Because I doubt that USA was the first one who finished everything that they were doing. I mean, one is on a fucking job, the other one's in college. I mean, alright, the Halazone squad isn't exactly doing anything, but again, I doubt like every single one of them ended their job or thing they do for a day before Usa did. So regardless, Mimi asks them all in a very respectful way, can you please help me with Usa? Can you have her also cling to you? There's more of us here, so we could so we are more likely that she would be too tired to do it the same way she's doing it right now. Because one person constantly saying their names, being right next to her is easy, but when it comes to like what is it, 27 now, it's a bit more difficult. And the older girls kind of, yeah, I mean, sure, we can help you. We're all girlfriends after all. As they're all kind of showing there, and they all ask Usa, they're being like, hey Usa, why are you only paying attention to Mimi? Pay attention to us as well. As then we get like some funny scenes where Mojo's like, how dare you only let Mimi touch your breasts? Let me touch you as well. As it was like, I'm not doing no such thing. And I was like, do you perhaps find elderly boring? Because Ryoko was 29, so even so Usa is a bit overwhelmed by the fact that everyone's asking her to be clean with them as well. So Usa, we then have like a couple of panels where Usa goes to everyone. We have her like go to Rentaro's class where we have Karane, Hakari, Nano, Shizuku, and Meme, I believe. Yeah, Meme. May then she goes to doesn't go to class, but she sees Kurumi and Momiji going there. We then have Iku and Yamame. We then have Kiki, I believe, who is on her own thing. I also think this chapter might be a purpose to kind of show us how the classes go with all the girlfriends, because there are some who are the same age but they don't go to the same class. Like Iku does not go to the same class as Karani and all that, and all them. So we have that. Then we also have her go to Uta and Rin, which I have to wonder if they are saying, because they are saying together now. So I do have to wonder if they're saying together before they became girlfriends, because I do think there's a bit of a gap between Uta and Rin. Yeah, I think like there was a 5 or 6 girlfriends between the two of them. But regardless, we have those two sitting together, which I do have to wonder again. Is this like a thing where they but like is this like a thing that they decide to do it later? Like ask the teacher, "Hey teacher, can I switch seats so I and Uta can be together or something?" Like whatever. Then we have Chiyo and Matsumori, I believe her name is. together. I think again just walking the hallways. Then we have her going to the teacher's room where, well, the teacher's office where she's at with to Momoha and Nadi. Which, funny enough, she refers to Momoha as Momoha Sensei, but to Nadi as Miss Nadi. Kind of find it like a different. Not that I say what is a different way that she's referring to her, but I don't know. Maybe it's like I want to say it's the fact they do not have I want to say it's because she respects not Momoa more than Natty, but the two of them are both such capital P teachers. I don't think anyone would really respect. Then she, I guess, sneaks up to go to Tama's workplace because we see Tama is working somewhere else. Like she works in a, I think, baby food company or something. As she's on her break, so Momoa Usa is there. Not entirely certain she if that place is very close to school. Like, I mean, to be fair, I do imagine Kahai would relocate a lot of her facilities to be very close so they can do everything she wants in the same time, kind of thing. Then she goes to Hahai's group where Hahai, Mei, and Yaku are there because Yaku again just says she'll be wandering there left and go. And then we go to Aries College. So she basically just goes around, and with all these people and places to go, she gets very exhausted to a point that she didn't even manage to go to Mimi yesterday. Which she does want to encounter Mimi as a tired rabbit, as she apologized for Mimi for not going to her, which Mimi's actually saying, "Oh, do not worry, it's fine." Well, in the back of her head, she's like, "Oh no, you don't have to apologize at all. It's actually a good thing. I could have probably used a day break." So yeah, Mimi. Yeah. So Usa, this new structure is very not. It works very well. She's away enough from the people, so they're not gonna get annoyed with her. But she's also close enough to the people, but she's also saving her clean nature to them because she's around everyone constantly. So yeah. And then we just have the two ending their chapter being friends because like they're all happy about this new setup. Like, the problem is that only Rento uh, can only handle Usa's clean, as everyone else would not have as much of a bad time. And we have the two going, which kind of a similar vibe as Uta and Kiki when they had like their chapter together, because when they just like walked up after they accomplished whatever it was they were doing or dealt with that annoying well stalker guy. So yeah. Anyways, with that said, we then go to My Academia, chapter 421, titled "We Are Here," referring to the heroes all lining up because it's a very cool panel where we have like a bunch of heroes all lined up, which is mostly class 1, I think, students in reality all being there and being, we're like, we are here to face you all for one. As then, as then we have all for one kind of giving his analysis on the body, which is just that, the residual despair that, the lack of the anger and hatred that Shiaki was kind of exuding at the end of the clash between him and Izuku made it weaker enough so he could once again engulf Shigaraki, and just a general explanation of what exactly happened, because in the last chapter we had like a question like, I'm not gonna say what the hell is up with Shiraki's and All For One's mental state right now. And yeah, the body is just damaged and too weak, but still, it should be more than enough to handle these insignificance. As then we have him like clashing a bit with everyone else, but it's not very much until Endeavor and Shoto show up here, and it's explained immediately after their little clash. Shoto and Endeavor kind of had like a little recovery, like a little like patch up the worst wounds, but then immediately were able to like restart. As Natsu set them to go finish this, because like they are combatants, they can actually handle a lot more than the rest of them. So they're like, let's go. And Ray and Fuyumi are going to get their help. Not, it's not really sad what happened to Dobby afterwards. I don't think you can see him in this chapter, but I'm assuming it's like one of those things where the corpse finally succumbed to being accepted at being a corpse. So he decided to just play along. So he just decided to stop talking about anything, but regardless, it doesn't matter because Endeavor and Shoto there to like clash and get some powerful combatants there. Probably just so there's not gonna have to be dealing with things like Sato's attacks or Ojio's attacks being able to do damage to champions. Even this weakened status husk of what it should be, there would still be too much for All For too much for them to defeat All For One. And yeah, we didn't have like little clashes with All For One and the heroes who do just like little blasts and attacks, and All For One dodges it and just sends out different attacks. Like again, there's not much in the battle as of yet, but it's gonna, I imagine, happen a lot more. So yeah. Anyways, then we cut back to Izuku to get the situation down, to get the quirks fixed. As then Izuku explains to Aizawa and us, the readers, that he doesn't actually have one full right now. All that he has right now is the Ambers, the same type as All Might had during the first part of MHA. Where he still had the quirk, but it was like minimalistic. Like it wasn't nowhere near as much as in the full power. It was just like, alright, how much gas does he still have in the tank, basically? And that's what Izuku has right now. He just has ambers of the quirk. Because thanks to all of the training, and I'm also assuming that because of the other quirks being awakened, he's now able to use more of the quirks. He got the ambers quicker, because I think it was expelled, like, because All Might had the quirk for so long and he used it so much that he got more more of some of it remaining, so it was more of a full-fledged thing. And that's the thing with Izuku. He himself only has ambers, and he will lose it. But he will use them all right now to take down All For One, which is a good thing. Like some people were saying, there's no consequences in My Academia and all that, which, again, I don't really think losing your arms before the final confrontation is really a good place to start getting the consequences. If anything, it should be more in the, post-final combat. Like, praise all you want, Full Metal Alchemist, but let's be honest to ourselves, Abu did not lose his alchemy until didn't lose his alchemy until after Father was defeated. People, like, I really don't understand why people think, like, people remember how things are going. So Izuku basically is going to lose his quirk. At least I hope so. I hope this isn't going to turn out to be one of those mushroom situations. But regardless, Izuku is not going to have a All For One after this, and yeah. Yeah, and then as he's saying that, he has Aoyama coming to him, because even though he himself admitted that his quirk is probably going to be gone, or he's not going to be able to use his quirk anymore, because this is something to think that, even when they defeated that Kunaida guy, and they were using their powers to free everyone, he even mentioned that, yeah, after this, I don't think I'll be able to use my quirk, because my stomach here is going to be completely messed up for the rest of my life, kind of thing. So Ayama in that situation still came there to help to use it, because again, even if he does lose the quirk, it's not gonna matter to him much. So he gives his hand to Izuku in a similar kind of parallel to what Izuku did to him after he discovered, to kind of like come full circle, as they have that bro clutch, as they're like, yes, let's go, as then the two go to face All For One last time with every single person else, like the civilians and I am all cheering on Izuku to take down All For One, ending this nightmare once and for all. So, yeah, this again, like, kind of get everyone's mindset into the chapter, which honestly kind of feels like it's dragging a bit to get to this point, but it's fine. It's understandable. Most of some other series to have this. We will get into it later, but regardless, Izuku is currently ready to, and hyped up for combat. So they're gonna go there. So I'm assuming the next couple of chapters are gonna be more like. I'm sure there's still gonna be a lot of like inner thoughts, inner monologue, like kind of going full circle and stuff. But I'm guessing it's gonna be more like a choreographic combat thing coming from them. So yeah. Anyways, then we get to Fairy Tale chapter 100 year quest. Oh, Fairy Tale 100 years quest chapter 158 titled Fire Sparring. Which is true, there is a lot of fire sparring in this chapter. So, we start this chapter off by revealing that the little ash and all being burned was actually just an illusion made by a member of the guild called Raj. I think that's how you say his name, Raj. Right? Something, right, I'm gonna go with. Rai's illusion fire magic. Or the way how he uses fire magic is more as an illusionary sense, like Fire Force kind of thing when they had like, like they had like a bunch of fire abilities, but they also had like different utilizations how they're gonna have it. So you have like an ice user because he uses fire to make his ice and stuff like that. Which honestly, this isn't the only anime that Mashima might have been watching before this arc and got the idea here, as we'll find out later with another member of the Fire Guild. So we didn't have him mentioning this, and we see that this guy's kind of like more insane and more crazy and joke, more like a clown kind of way. As then we have like kind of making fun of everyone being kind of like commenting and Natsu's hair and kind of messing with the hair. But Natsu has no sugar, so he kind of was like, alright, dude, you'll be taking me to Ignia's place, but first I'm punching the shit out of you, punching him in the face for making him believe that his friends got killed and all that, got burned to ash. I personally thought it was going to be some kind of weird spatial fire teleportation thing, but I guess illusions are fine. As then he goes to clash with the two, which while in the previous chapter it was kind of made it appear like Brian not so a bit more equal, in this chapter it's very clear that they are not equal. Like he's fighting both of them and he's having a easier time. Like Brian's like giant mouth attacks and mouth hand and all that kind of made that difficult for Natsu to get the gist of his fighting time in the beginning, but now that he sees how Brian fights, he has an easier time. So he like goes for a fire punch on the mouth, but Brian, which Brian comments, "Oh, did you want me to eat your hand or something?" But not to just use his fire to blast Brian to the floor. That doesn't beat him or something, but it does kind of show that he's being overwhelmed because not just having an easy time blasting too. And Rise illusions not to just eats, and even if they did work, he can just smell them because of that's how he discovered. Like he smelled. Oh wait, this is like a fire. I sense a lot of I smell a lot of fire magic. So Natsu is able to deal with them both. It's not until a new member shows up whose name is Leka, where things really go to a different side. Which, okay, to describe Leka, have you guys seen Cyberpunk Antironus? And now the main character there, what's his name? Why am I blanking the guy's name right now? David? I think David is the name of the main character of the Cyberpunk Antironus. Leica very much looks like him, like not one-to-one copy, but you can kind of tell, like he has like that kind of design, the kind of similar type of outfit, just generally looks like he could be there. As we have Leica there, and we find out that Leica's fire trait that he uses it's basically maker magic, which is something that not even comments. Wait, this guy has like similar magic to Gray, and Leica uses his maker magic to make like a sword, and I was like, oh, you think I can't eat it? which he tries to eat it, but it does not work. But like question, wait, why I cannot eat it? And then like it does another like attack, which collects like a pillar of fire that surrounds Natsu, but he's not able to eat the thing. Now I'm not sure this is supposed to hear like I'm not having fire magic itself, just a magic that looks very similar to a fire, or maybe this is supposed to be like a make something significant connected to a maker magic users. Because remember, there was like a little bit of like a thing where there is something different about the people who use maker magics than just regular magic attributes. Like Scolion has maker magic, and Gray was so surprised and shocked the fact that he was able to use his. I think Scolion's magic was smoke maker magic to make like a real boat, a functioning full-fledged boat. So maybe maker magic fire, it cannot be eaten by Natsu the same way as like other things, which honestly does kind of raise the question, not does now raise an interesting the question about fire magic and Natsu's future fight versus fights, because we know things cannot be eaten by Natsu. If Leica's Maker Magic cannot work. It might be something else. I would not be surprised if Leica's magic just emulates fire but isn't fire itself, or if it's just gonna be some kind of new feat for not to like eat Maker Magic or something. I don't know. We'll find out future. But regardless, this combination of attacks and not to be not being able to deal with it gives Brian the opportunity to eat and gobble up, not to just bring him there normally. Which person I would just, which person I feel like if someone with a more silver tongue would have talked to Natsu, I feel like they would have been able to not even fight and all. But honestly, like the funny thing is, Natsu just says that before you guys take me to Ignia, I will punch you for what you've done. So yeah, so like if they would simply just put a Capone beige, I feel like they could have just walked in on one. But regardless, so we have Lu, we have Brian and like getting Natsu. Now I'm assuming Naka is gonna fight Gray because like, well, one thing, there is a lot of members of this Fire and Flame Guild right now. By looks of things, more and more of the very least the characters team is going to be comprised of, and like I'm assuming he's going to fight Gray because he has fire maker magic and Gray's of ice maker magic, so it would kind of make sense that these two fight, and they even kind of look even. But yeah, I'm assuming like I not Gray are gonna be the ones to come fight one another. The judging by their designs and the fire attributes things. And yeah, and after that, Leica and Brian tell Roy that he should go deal with the other members of Natsu's squad because like you probably want to deal with them. It's just they also told him not to go up against Azura because their second command wants to go after her. And yeah, I'll be honest, I kind of find this kind of also confirms that Mashima doesn't really have a high opinion on Gray either, because like this is a bit of a question about how powerful is Gray supposed to be, because you think the guy is supposed to be like the rival to Natsu, and rivals usually are supposed to at least be kind of shown to be on the same tier of combat, but the best way to describe Natsu and Gray right now is like Natsu is Luffy and Gray is Kid kind of thing. So it's kind of funny how he basically confirms that's how he views them. Like it was, previously it was like going up against the same opponents as Lucy went up against, or like duel with Lucy, and now he's even going up against a guy whose main thing is fire illusions. But yeah, it's this kind of thing going on. Now, one thing the Rise does ask is why exactly he's not allowed to go up against Azra, and that's explained that the Fire and Flame Guild's second command, not so this is supposed to be like this. I'm guessing this is Ignia's right hand man or something. Whose name is Wet, is going for Azra and wants to deal with her personally. And the guy's designs are very bulky, armored-looking individuals. So, yeah. This, as we end the chapter off with this guy encountering Azra, or Azra at the very least noticing this guy's presence, and yeah, we're gonna have this fight. Now, there's a bit of a concern from the fandom that this is gonna be revealed that it's Simon. He somehow survived the story, and he's gonna come back to make uh, Joel's sins feel lesser because of if he's gonna join the fair, there might still be a little too much if you have him do like super horrific shit. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know if Simon really needs to come back again. Like I mean, in Joel literally said that it doesn't erase his sins, but I think it's time that he finally moves on a bit from them. So I don't really understand why he would need to be returned. That's kind of feels like a weird thing, especially since Joel already left the place. So I am not entirely certain why. I mean, maybe it's gonna be like some kind of sick, twisted thought, although it could just be something else. Like, I don't think there's any character that really comes to mind that would have a personal vendetta against Azra, but I would not be surprised if there is something else there. But I don't know. Like, there's also some ideas like maybe this guy is a descendant of Irene or something, or the king or someone, but we don't know right now for it, and that type of. But we don't know. Honestly, I'm even entirely certain this is gonna be like one of those fights where Azra is going to lose just so because it's the start of the arc. Similar to how like the Signario sister handily defeated her, Joel, and Minerva together, yet then they lost to her together against Azra alone. So I would not be surprised if this is like one of those things that's gonna where like Red beats her no, or like severely manhandles her, and then she only to be like saved by I'm guessing the Ebolas because like right now the Fire and Flame Guild seems like a very like again, I'm not sure how many members Fire and Flame Guild has, but like I said, the fact we know it has Ignia, the Signario sisters, and Brian, Lecky, Roy, and Rat right now at least 7, while Natsu's team is. I mean, I guess also 7, but I don't really think we're gonna have like Happy and Kala beating two of the members. So I'm kind of so well. I guess you could say they would beat. I mean, I guess you could say that maybe there's gonna be like someone else that's gonna like maybe Signalis is gonna be both defeated by Lucy, maybe something like that. But I don't really know. I'm assuming the Diabolos Guild is gonna come and join. Since I mean, they were I think originally supposed to have went after Athena, but Team Notch just dealt with Athena himself. So maybe it's gonna be just them all up against Igni or something like that. But we have to wait and see how they're gonna play it all. Or maybe we're just gonna be pulling the whole side characters in Eden Zero shtick when they appear when everyone's already defeated and they just do like the minimal cleanup of the annoyances. But yeah, anyways, after Fairy Tail, we have One Piece, chapter 1113, titled Stalemate. And I would put him up and down when it comes to this kind of thing. So yeah, we so we start this chapter off with Mars reacting to the thing that he was looking at the last chapter, and we find out what he was looking at was the cut off portion of Vegapunk. You know, the part where the brain that he cut because it got too big to move around with. And then it's like where Mars starts to question where does the brain, what exactly is death? Because like previously you could maybe question maybe it's something else, but this pretty much confirms like right there and there that Vegapunk really did like this is pretty much like what is life and death? Because like Vegapunk straight up cut off everything. Like his brain is completely gone. Like you could previously guessed that because he literally just doesn't top of an apple, but now it's even more confirmed how this looks like. Or maybe it just makes you realize what Vegapunk actually did, because first it looks a bit goofy, but now you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's why he cut off his entire hat. So yeah, Mars kind of questions this, which is kind of funny because it seems like the ghosts are immortal creatures, so kind of interesting in their question, like what even is death? But yeah, anyways, we then get to a shot where we cut around to a bunch of people. Like these are more like, I want to say, more recognizable places and people, because like we have Kaya from Surf Village, I believe. We see her in the veggies. We cut off to some of the islands where the Straw Hats like Chopper and Frankie were there. We have them reacting to this and commenting, oh, the great Vegapunk, oh, the genius Vegapunk, the guy who makes mostly weapons, oh, the guy who came from our place, the demon of the mountain, oh, that was Frankie. Okay, oh, and we get like stuff like that. As as Mars is gonna go to destroy it, but he realizes the snail that he found was actually a fake. And yeah, he's a bit of a spickle now as he flies off, and you find some others that he sends, because this one I think I don't know if he used observation hockey or if he just has a really good sense of hearing or something, but I'm assuming that's probably observation hockey. Honestly, I don't think so. Like I don't think we have seen hockey on Nandan Mushis before, but regardless, he sensed that and started going to random places and destroying them, but he isn't able. So he contacts Saturn and the rest to like, all right, what to discuss this situation. Like, oh, he's having trouble finding the real than Mushi, as we find out that the ghosts themselves actually do not have any idea what Vegapunk will say. Like, they have no idea if this is something that, like, they have absolutely zero clue. They just seem to be like, they're like, which is interesting because you kind of follow with how they are acting with, how Clover and everything. It's something that you must not say, but they themselves are like, oh my god, he's gonna reveal something. I mean, I don't know what he's going to reveal. I don't know how this affects us, but it's gonna reveal, and it's very likely to be something that we shouldn't reveal it. Something that shouldn't be revealed. So, like, they have no idea. Like, it could be anything, really. Which just kind of raise the question again: what are you guys so worried about revealing? Like, maybe stuff you guys like. Again, like I don't think the reveal. Like, is it the reveal supposed to be like they're gonna start the war? Because I think it meant something like there's one thing that must not be revealed, but it doesn't seem like they have any kind of clue. Like, so it's interesting how they are not themselves are not entirely certain. But regardless, then we cut back to Ethan going up against Bonnie's group, as we have Ethan trying to cut Bonnie down because she has too much power, she's a danger to them all. But luckily, Sanji shows up and punches Ethan in the face like the overrated piece of trash swordsman that he is. And surprisingly for a ghost, that he's actually able to somewhat quickly respond by turning to a skeleton horse. Which does kind of make me wonder if we're gonna have like a thing where it's actually Sanji and Zoro going up against them, the two of them. Now that I think about it, because like didn't like one of the movies have Zoro and Sanji kind of have the opposite opponents to what you would think of? Like you have like a martial artist, or someone like that went up against Zoro, and then you had like a swordsman going up or something like that going up against Sanji, and then after they defeat their opponents, they say, "I know a bastard who is able to do this better than you do." So I do kind of have to wonder if we're kind of going this, because like Mars is one of those who might either go against Sanji or it's Jupiter, but I think it's more likely to be Mars considering what he's doing right now. Being like the one who gets very late to combat while also doing like more the espionage type of thing, more the actual work. So I do kind of, and he's more likely to encounter Zoro going to clash with him. So I do kind of have to wonder if it's gonna be kind of like a reverse thing here, or maybe it's gonna be like one of those. It's definitely the two of them cannot be a fair thing, because like Zoro cannot beat Mars and Sanji cannot beat Ethan, but if they swap the opponents, Zoro can beat Ethan and Sanji can beat Mars, but that's besides the point. Anyway, it's just Ethan goes into his ice horse form and just Zoan form and just jumps on Sanji as Oimo and Kashi, I think, grab uh, Ethan and trying to pull him away from or have him drop his grip on Sanji. But then Bonnie just uses her powers to just turn herself into a giantess because like uses weird future and yeah, she I guess is going to uh, crush Ethan underneath it. I think this is where we stop focusing on this fight because I don't think we have her crushing. I'm assuming we're gonna get some kind of continuation later. So yeah, anyways, then we have Vegapunk in his broadcast revealing that he's done. Like he explains, oh yeah, this broadcast I designed if case if I was gonna die because the things I was messing with are the things that are quite frankly go too much. Like they are definitely things that should be messed with. They're definitely a death sentence kind of thing. So we have people. I don't think any of the main characters on the island reacts to it, but it's mostly people like around the world who are like, "What? He's that? What? He bought so much and did so much and yeah." Basically, Vegapunk confirms he is that. Like he's gone. But Vegapunk also mentions that he does not blame his killer. Like he doesn't know who's gonna kill him. He doesn't know what. He doesn't. But he doesn't blame the killer. He kind of accepts that. It's like, is it evil? Is it good? I can't tell. Like things like good and evil are not things that I really care about because again, that's just kind of how Vegapunk is. Like I literally created his first two satellites are literally good and evil. So the guy does acknowledge that he himself does have some evil in him. Although finding out it was more his greed and gluttony that got was the more evil one of the two. But regardless, Vegapunk says that he doesn't blame the killer, which is probably gonna go more into Kizo's character. Like he probably hears it. Like where he is, he's probably being patched up by someone while he's saying in the report about how Vegapunk does not blame the person who did it. He doesn't know. It's kind of again kind of raises the question about what exactly is up with the Gosei because he says he doesn't blame the killer while Saturn is right there. So again, I am certain that Oda is not going for some kind of morally good thing or like they're not the true villains or something like that with the Gosei or some kind of redemption or something like that. I'm certain that it's more like equivalent. There's a little bit more to it. Like maybe at least, all right, you at least understand why they ended up the way they ended up. Like it's not like it's like one of those things where you're like, yeah, I can see why you're the way you are, but your actions are still like unacceptable or just kind of don't make sense. It's kind of like Magneto from X Men. Like you can understand where he's coming from, and you can somewhat justify some of them, but when it comes to like the larger grand scope of actions, it's like, no, I cannot agree with you. I just agree that you're not a heartless monster. So yeah. Anyways, then after that we cut to Saturn, who's going to against Straw Hats, who's first like, "Go away, you insects!" But then he notices Rob and is like, "You are Nico Robin, the one that Akainu let slip." As he goes there, I don't think he's suddenly focusing on killing Robin, but he's like, "Are you here? I might as well kill you as well." Like it's kind of a good thing, and I'm assuming he's probably gonna waste the time killing her. Like he's got like, it's a bit like maybe he's gonna be in the next chapter. Like, hey Ross, I found Nico Robin. If do you have any issue if I kill her? Right? Do you think it'll be fine if I kill her instead of focusing on getting to there right now? No, and yeah, I'm assuming like they're gonna have a little fight there. So I'm kind of wondering, maybe I don't know. It's kind of iffy when it comes to Jinbei and Zoro because we know Zoro and Jinbei are going there. So maybe Jinbei's gonna go up against Saturn. I mean, we do see some other characters reacting to it. Like we have Nami grabbing Robin, protect Robin. As we have like Usopp shooting one of his puppets. And I think I heard some people say that Brook cut off one of Saturn's legs and freeze them over, which honestly it's kind of a par for the course right now when it comes to the goals and when it comes to losing their limbs and all that. So I'm not really surprised that he was able to do that, but still, like I guess it's a good feat. But yeah, then we have Moss and Sal having a bit of a conversation here where they're like, where Moss is like, I cannot find a mainstay. I can only destroy all of these random ones, but they are all over the place. Where can we just destroy the whole facility in one go so we can, be guaranteed? Because, like, I'm assuming they have enough firepower to destroy it. I mean, between Saturn's attack and whatever Mars has, I'm assuming they can. But Saturn tells Mars, no, we can't. Because this is the only facility that can create Mother Flame. I guess the lab in Marie-Joie is not that good. Because otherwise, I feel like they could have just grabbed York and went out, which we actually do see York there. She's like, with her, where she's like, she's kind of like standing somewhere. She's thinking to herself, alright, I'm a Vegapunk too. I should know where to go. If I want to be such a dragon, I have to say it, because this point, even if I survive and they all get dealt with, I'm not gonna be done that. I have to do something. I have to think. Where would I, Vegapunk, leave this place? Which does make me wonder we are going to have to realize what this is, because, it could be like one of those things where, like, this kind of shows that she's lesser than the other Vegapunks, because the other Vegapunks are like, oh, we'll discover your code and your access code, and then you discover that, while you cannot discover it despite being a Vegapunk herself. Although I feel like the fact that the other ones did, like, on their own and quickly, she held on, kind of just stuck thinking about it. So who knows? I kind of feel like this could also work, even if it's like Vegapunks, the true Vegapunks, could do it on their own with just a minute of time, while you're had to think and you put a lot of effort into finding out where she would put it. Personally, I would say it's more of a clue in what thinking about, like, why would only Shaka and Pythagoras and Vegapunk themselves know? Why not anyone else? Like, why not Edison and Atlas and Lilith? Why those three didn't also get informed on this? So yeah, we didn't have them just kind of want. So yeah, we didn't. But regardless, because York is there, they need to like create Mother Flame, because Mother Flame is very useful. But anyways, then we cut back to the broadcast with Vegapunk, as we find out, like, all right, now the time has come for me to reveal everything, as Vegapunk tells them. At first, gets everyone ready for the information that's gonna tell them, because the information that's gonna come is gonna be like a very crazy information. Like, you probably gonna laugh at me more than anything else once I told this. But bear with me, as Vegapunk reveals to the rest of the world that the world they live in right now will sink into the sea. As we cut to the final page panel of the chapter, where we have the characters underwater. So yeah, the world's sinking in One Piece. Which, alright, so I think that this is gonna be one of those good uses of climate change as a point, and not shitty uses like DC and Marvel, where it's illogical that climate change is a problem. Because here I think it's meant more as a supernatural kind of thing. Because the thing is, we had islands and moments in stories where we had like islands getting submerged underwater and needing to build on top of that submerged ground. Like Water 7 is the first one, where the island has been rebuilt constantly on top of the previous occupations. One was a similar thing. And we mentioned that because of the previous attack of the device they are keeping, that the world government has, that the water levels of everything just kind of increased. So I'm not so there is a lot of foreshadowing the world is gonna be covered in that is gonna get covered more with water. So I'm kind of guessing that this is gonna be what's gonna be explained in a way. Not entirely certain what exactly and how this is gonna all kind of come full circle, but we are going to get more of it and more details later, which I guess is the information that that Vegapunk wanted to inform everyone. Which just made me kind of wonder the reactions on the ghost side, because they do not react to this. Like, this is like, as soon as we get this information, we end the chapter. So I do have to wonder how they are going to react. Like, damn you, Vegapunk, how dare you reveal this information? Like, Oh, so things are repeating like they did last time or something. I already know regards to say is that's just the information that we're getting in right now, which makes sense because it was kind of foreshadowed. So, yeah, anyways, after One Piece, we get Chainsaw Man, chapter 164, titled Shark Remains. Ironically and funny enough, there really are no burnt corpses in this chapter. Weird. Like, usually with chapters like this, you'd think there would be corpses in there, but we don't. Anyways, we start this chapter off with Danji getting his priority straight. He's like, where's Naruto? Where is she? Because, that's her, that was his question when that guy from uh, Devil Department was talking to him, like, where is she? Because he's concerned about her safety. She is the thing that he's really focused on. As he's like, he needs to go there. He doesn't care about the rest. He just wants Naruto back. As in the characters kind of a little bit of an argument, like Yura wants to go up against, wants to just go straight to a fight. Kataman probably as well, but Danji only wants Naruto as Asa takes over the body. And she's like, fine, where was she last left off? Where did you last see her? As we have all of them except, finally we switch the nailed fiend and the eye patch guy around because now we have the eye patch guy but not the nail fiend in this group because they all went to the burnt place of his apartment that was burned by Baron. So yeah, it's kind of fine that we got like a little switch there, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, so you're questioning why exactly, and that's simply because again, Neil Fiend would stand out. Like this group of people would already stand out. Like I'm not sure how much they want to reveal things, but I'm assuming they at least put the wanted posters on these people. Like Asa wasn't even captured, so you can't even say it's like one of those things where they were not aware that she was at large. But regardless, we have them all in the burned place. As Euro is kind of bring this up to Danji, like, if she's not here, not even her corpse or anything, then she's definitely not. Then she's definitely not here. She's somewhere else. She's most likely that, or she's somewhere else. Like we cannot give you more than just helping you come here, because it's useless. As then we have Danji just kind of trying to like remove the remains because even though he should know that she's not underneath the rubble, like the rubble and the fire was all next to them. Like Naruto, the last time he saw her was like uh, next to a different building, so at the opposite side of the burnt one. So it's not like he was there. So it's not like she would be even underneath the rubble, but he at this point just kind of so minus about it or like so depressed about the whole situation that he's just kind of removing it and kind of finds it amusing the fact that being Tracer Man just brings him nothing but despair. As then Asa takes over again the body and she's like, she wants to comfort Dan. She's like, she wants to help him. She can relate to losing your close family uh, to Danji, and she wants to be there. But well, we finally get confirmation about one aspect about you and Asa's sharing the same body. As it turns out, no one has realized that Yuri and Asa are different people. Because Danji brings this up, like, you first jump on my balls, and now you're trying to comfort me? What the heck is wrong with you? As that, like, Chainsaw Man fanboy also says, like, yeah, I agree, she is weird. I get, like, this was a bit of a question, like, is the whole Scott phase, like, a visual thing for us, the readers, or is it, like, an in-universe thing? But I'm get like maybe some people said like maybe Asa doesn't still has a Scott face constantly. It's just that the things disappear whenever Asa is taken over because it'll be easier for us. But I don't know if the characters ever reference like Asa having scars on her face. Like I don't think they call her like scar face or something. Uh, or maybe I think it's more likely that she doesn't have scars on her face. Honestly, consider the fact you was the one who disappears and goes and out and leaves the body. But regardless, it is kind of interesting how this finally confirms no one really picked up on Yuri and Asta being different people, despite the two of them constantly switching their bodies and minds around. So it's kind of weird confirmation, but we finally get this confirmation. No one is aware that us and you are different people. Which I don't know why this is a mystery. Why us is not like, oh no, I'm just sharing my mind with a war devil named Euro, so we can sometimes. So whenever I have like a scarred face, or whenever I use weapon or act more aggressive in combat, what is that's Euro taking over. But yeah. Anyways, Denji is just the. But yes, anyways, us does not explain to anyone this. Denji is just depressed about the whole thing. As they try to find a way to help Denji because, like, what can they truly do? Like, Denji doesn't want just for him to change some man because every time he does, something bad happens. He has lost Naruto, and he again can. He lost Naruto, and now he is kind of a help. Now he can really do it, and now he has like no will. He lost his pets, and now he can't do anything. As then the Kobani brother, I believe, asks Fami what they should do because she's kind of like the unofficial leader thing. It's kind of the same way as they're like, should we inform Fami that he's awake? Or situation in the previous chapter as Fami just says maybe he's hungry. Agree. If he was not hungry, maybe he was in a bad mood, which seems like a really dumb thing for Fami to do since she is supposed to be a manipulator mastermind in some capacity, not to the same degree as Makima, but still a very good manipulator. So it's kind of funny how she here just feels like very dumb about the thing. But who knows? Like, there's a lot. Fami's probably keeping more cards to her chest right now. That's going to be adjusted later, which honestly I don't know if Fami. It's good for Fami to make Danji get more back from depression because as something I feel like a lot of you also probably forgot is the fact that Baron did mention Fami when he was being arrested two Danjis, which Danjis should hear. So he should know who Fami is, or at least someone named Fami is involved with Baron. So we will see on that. But yeah, anyways, right now it's like get Denji some food so he will not be depressed, which Denji first wants to refuse, but then his stomach rolls and it's like, alright, maybe sushi. As then we have Asa saying, no, anything but sushi, please pick something else, as the Katama calls her page for this response, which honestly, considering the fact that the previous girl that considering really the fact that last girl really liked sushi was a manipulative bitch who wanted to cut off parts of Danji's hair and nails just for a collective action for Chainsaw Man, I would say a girl who's so vocal against sushi is actually a good thing. But regardless, Danji just says, I'll only have sushi, nothing else. And that, I was like very angry, like, I can't believe we'll be getting sushi, because I'm assuming they're all gonna be eating sushi kind of thing. Like, Fami's there, she's definitely, like, they're definitely not going to a sushi place and just having Danji eat. They'll all go there, probably strong arm everyone, and Fami is just gonna order an insane portion of sushi. Danji's gonna have like a normal plate, and Asa is probably just gonna be like there, probably just like, sushi. Probably doing this the whole time, doing the whole thing, so yeah, I imagine the next chapter is just gotta be done in a place that makes sushi. But yeah, anyway, that's it for the chapter. As we then go to Miracle-chan, chapter 57, and still no titles because for some reason Miracle-chan does not have titles. Which, to be fair, with how creative some chapter titles are, I'm not really surprised that they didn't want to include them. So yeah, we start this chapter off with Mr. Sato, who, in case you don't know, is that guy who was in a couple of chapters ago in the end of it. You know, that creepy guy where I had like those weird shadowy figures that we saw in the previous chapter as well. There we see his like basically his normal day in the office that he works in, as he's like very like I don't know, Mr. Sato has like this kind of weird thing where he knows where things are that he should know. Like, he knows that one of his employees, which is the lady that was on the train, looked like she was possessed by some kind of evil spirit or something, that train guy monster like took out of. Well, she's there as he reveals to her that he's the one who suggested her to take this trip. Because even though I think said to be longer way, it's actually a more better for her health or something. Like he does like more a normal way, like, oh, you should take this train because it's gonna the extra walk is gonna give you more energized and for your troubles and all that. And as in he also like and he does manage to convince her that as well. Then like one member is like, oh no, our papers, there's something wrong with our papers. I know I made them, but where are they? And then he's like, oh look, they are on the they just fell on the printer. Hey, check that on the printer. Oh yes, it's good. Or like another guy is was informed that his dog died, so his parents told him, and he asked if he could leave just so he can go to his dog. And Mr. Sato kind of like he says, "Oh come on, boss." He just wants to go check his dog. It's not like he's gonna demands like a whole week's or month long vacation. He just wants to say goodbye to his childhood pet. After all, I mean, he grew up, and of course he'll be more attached to it. What can you do, really? And he's convinced. Like everyone likes Mr. Sato, which is also like one of those very big like contrasts. Like this Sato comes like a really nice guy, like a really swell fellow. He's always there to help you. He's always there to be your friend. When you fall off, it's Mr. Sato who's gonna help you you up. So, which is gonna be a good contrast later when we get to the actual plot stuff, and yeah. So, and for this, we have like this weird thing where Sato seems to know where everything else. I don't think he's like setting things up himself. I think it's just that he has like a little bird. Well, I don't know if that bird is like a way how he's able to know everything, or if he just has some kind of other power that's in the bird is supposed to be like a red herring, because they mention the bird a lot in this chapter, but it doesn't seem like to be anything that he's using a lot. I guess again, maybe it's supposed to like kind of show this facade. Normally, he with the bird, he's super nice. He's the best friend of it, the best person you could possibly meet. But without that, he's a cold-blooded murderer kind of deal, and cold-blooded he is, because when he is going there, we see him doing this like office thing. We see like a janitor who's kind of there, but he's like mostly covered. Like he has like those medical masks on. He has like I think glasses or something on, which I can just clean a bit. As this person goes to a elevator, as he enters that, as in Master Sato, or I think one of his ghost figures shows up, as it pulls this figure in, and it's revealed this is Rom, as he pushes him to the closed door of the elevator, as Miss Sato tells him, "Oh, Rom, I thought I told you that you and I are gonna meet in this place at this time, didn't we?" As Rom, I don't know if he's trying to be jokey or if this is supposed to show out just how dark Mr. Sato is, because Rom tells him, "Oh yeah, I went to the place ahead of time to check it out, but the place looked like you were about to kill me or execute me, so I got scared, so I thought here would be better and safer for both of us. Well, namely myself." Which kind of does imply that Seto is someone who, when the people who are on the know, is not as nice as he's portraying himself to the normal people. So yeah, so we have this little talk about them, and they don't really go into anything major in detail. Just that basically we find out that whole arc that I'm assuming gonna be in season 2 and in the shrine, all that moment with this with the seal and all that kind of monster thing that was showed up before we kind of start focusing on the new friend. We He knows all that. He doesn't know how things went, what wrong it was on part of it or anything. He just knows stuff happens and we need to solve it, and I want to solve it now. Sort of deal. And Miss Otto tells Ron, because they're in an elevator, they have to like focus on solving this issue kind of later. They'll talk and meet later. I think in a different place, because this is because I think later they'll meet up in a like a train station or place like that, or in a mall somewhere, like somewhere more. Alright, you don't think that place at that time is good. Fine, we'll meet somewhere more safer if you want. So yeah. Anyways, Rom then goes to that place, or at the very least is on his way to that place, as he sees a little ghost child there, and this child probably died because she got lost and didn't manage to find. Maybe she got killed by someone else, and maybe her spirit just is like anxiously looking for mother. Again, like the ghosts in Miracle Chan kind of all over the place, where some could possibly be connected to how they died or have some kind of reference, like that woman that was attacking Miko's brother. Maybe was some kind of pedophile. Was probably pedophile who probably got killed by getting chopped in the head or something by someone, and she was about to a child, or that group of spirits that were after those two Black Widow murderers. Like maybe they were people that they and killed, and they kind of just had them stuck with them, something like that. Again, it's kind of 50-50 on this type of stuff. Yeah, they are currently dealing, but they are currently designing stuff like that. Well, regardless, it's Ron meets this child, and he kind of wants to do that, like sending her to a better place kind of deal. He's like, "Hello, lost little girl. Do you want me to take you home with me?" Well, no, no. Oh, no, no, that's creepy. I mean, what's wrong? And she tells him, Mommy, I don't know where Mommy is." And then Rom takes her hand. He goes, "All right, we'll find your Mommy and keep you away from the Batman." Which might be the person who killed her. Like maybe he's referring to that person, or maybe he's referring to Mr. Sato. Like either one is a horrible person. But regardless, this goes on. No, I'm not saying if Rom is trying to take her to one of those like weird portal creatures, like the ones that were like next to into a uh, like a I think it was it a bread store, or was it just like general candy store, something like whatever, or uh, uh, some or stuff like that. Uh, he takes, or if he's just gonna like wander around looking for the girl's dad, mother ghost or something like that. I'm not touching it, but regardless, Mr. Soto appears there as Rami is aware. Oh shit, Mister, there's a problem. I don't want to antagonize him, but I cannot just like start running with a ghost girl because he's gonna just attack me or something. Wait, Mr. Sato, everything's fine. As Rom did just to be like, everything's fine, Mr. Sato. You do not have to try anything. We're just passing by. You don't need to do something. As this girl is also like aware that this is a very bad person. This guy is a large child. Like she's actively more terrified. As Mr. Sato is like, there's a little like quick whoosh kind of thing to see what kind of spirit she is. I guess checking to make sure this is a actual ghost, because like remember, some of these are a lot more like convincing as spirits than the other ones are. Like some just look like normal people just dead, while others have like horrific malforms. So Mr. just confirming that this is an actual lost child that's a human, or it's a lost child that's a ghost that died or something like that. I'm assuming this ghost would attack Rom if it was actually attending it. But he confirms this is just a ghost girl. As then Mr. Sato just, I don't think he puts his gloves on, or maybe he just goes there with a more, activates the whatever thing he has, holy thing he has to destroy spirits, because he didn't just grabs the child by the hand and is panicking, the hat, and he's like shoving her to the ground and purifying her assets or something. Like he's like melting her, he's like crushing her and making her dying, as well. Just stares there in horror because he knows again he cannot do shit against. And like they may not agree with their methods in there, and some may even chew him out, which sort of does chew him out for it. But he knows that he can't really mess with such like one of those like things. We are gifted, but we cannot do anything about it. So Sato is kind of stuck right now. Well, Rom is kind of stuck right now doing what Sato tells him. And Sato kills this girl. As then Mr. Sato is like, uh, they also talk about, but then like one of his ghost like figure talker ears, eyes and ears kind of comes to him, is like, whispers something into his ear. As Mr. was like, "All right, let's continue our partnership by you telling me About Miko, and he gives a full name, and yeah, he is now interested in Miko. Previously, it was probably like one of those, like, I don't know if he knew about Miko beforehand, but now he knows about her, and now he wants to know about Miko, which is probably gonna lead to something bad. I don't think he's gonna try to do anything horrific or anything like it, because again, to Ram, he does nothing here, and I'm assuming that he probably knows about others. It's just, Miko is like a newbie in this. Like, she just kind of wants to avoid everything. She doesn't really go up against it. She doesn't really try to solve the issues. She's just kind of, well, she's a child. She's just a teenage girl, basically. Her bigger concerns are probably just her underdeveloped body compared to Hana and the beautiful model that they have as a friend now, and stuff like that. She doesn't want to focus on the fucking horrific spirits. But regardless, Mr. Sato wants to know about her and is asking Ram about her. As we end this final page, it's kind of like a little twist way, where we have a scared Miko, worried Miko expression, which kind of makes you think, oh, Mr. Sato and the spirits are already confronting her, but actually just she sees that her brother is eating her pudding, and she's kind of she's like weirdly acting like a child. It's like, Kyosuke, how dare you eat my pudding? Which is fun because you'd think this kind of reaction, she's the little sister, but she's actually the older sister, but I guess she's very childish when it comes to pudding. As her father's spirit, like, alright, you messed up, you know how much your sister loves pudding, she shouldn't need to write her name on her pudding because you know how she is. You better apologize now. Because he still pretends that he's a part of the family even though he's not. But regardless, he's ready. But regardless, we are setting up Mr. Sato meeting Miko, which could be a very bad thing for Miko. I mean, again, it's kind of difficult to say. But anyways, we're to Miko on the way. Let's get into a quarterly manga called Black Clover. We don't just have one chapter this time, we have two, which I'm kind of surprised, but I assumed Tabata was going to go with a thing where he's going to go like one large chapter instead of two chapters, but I guess he decided to just keep it going with the normal weekly showing up chapter length, releasing more chapters because there's a lot of negativity when the first chapter came out for this new format for this new release schedule. So he probably of issues. So I guess he just decided to like, all right, I should at least add more than just one chapter. So yeah, which unfortunately raised a new problem because let's just say these two chapters are really not worth the wait, or more likely, Tabata made these way too much, just weekly jump chapters on a quarterly release schedule. But anyways, we start. The first chapter we're gonna go through is Black Clover chapter 370, titled "Demolition Charge." Ironically, there's no demolition here, just a lot of posing and cool panels. And yeah, anyways, we started this chapter off where we left it off with them characters in the previous, well, with Asta and Yuno in the previous, with them going against Lucia's copies. As Asta finishes his sentence with the whole, looks like we are the ones who is really on the back foot here, Lucius. With that confident smile that those two share constantly whenever they have to reinstate that they are rivals. As Lucius is a bit amused by this, as he then uses gravity magic on a larger scale, as he, I think, if goes more into the air with the entire kingdom. He was already willing the entire thing, but now he's even doing even more of a feat as people are more reacting to it, and it's just like people are scared because it's a giant feat of gravity magic. But yeah, anyways, then we have Asta kind of informing Yuno about the situation a bit because Ryu was able to use his powers to kind of get a bit of an idea of a plan, and the way that Asta explains the plan is basically uh, Lucius is getting ready for like a giant, massive tree spell that he's like saying as we have like this cool panel, like whatever you say what you want about Tabata, but the guy at least has cool panels. knows how to draw basically, as he has like this kingdom is all in the air, as in like those branches are completely are starting to cover up the not incompletely start to cover up everything. It's just they're like going around the entire kingdom, and they're kind of being prepared for that giant spell, which I'm assuming just to immediately go into a paladin thing. I don't know if he needs to kill them or if it's just like one of those like it's once just gonna turn everyone into a paladin or not, but regardless, that's what Luce is planning to do, and he's saving up the energy for it. As there we get to a bit cutting around the world, a bit around the kingdom, and and I swear this is just comical. Like we cut around a bit as we have almost every captain who we haven't seen for a while is basically off. I don't want to say off screen, but basically getting off screen. Like Charlotte is not unconscious down, but is down, beaten. Like we need to still continue fighting. Rail is also we need to still continue fighting. And then which is just these two name, and William is also like getting healed. Like I mean, I know that I don't know if this like I know this is supposed to be like a cheap tension moment, like showing out. Oh shit, the captains are even barely able to hold up with Yuno's power up. But just funny because they don't even fight anyone actually significant. They're just fighting copies of Lucius and the Angels, which are definitely powerful, but they're nothing special. Like, we're really just turning the captains into another spirit guardian situation here. But, uh, anyways, we, have cut back to Asta and Yuno, who have like this another brotherly the determination to fight against Lucius, as they're like, we'll beat you regardless and we'll stop your plan and go there. As then we have them determined, as then we have for the Black Bulls, because let's be honest, so nothing can really get done unless if you have the Black Bulls coming there and dealing with everything. As they show up, as they have like little as we get like a bunch of panels with them like appear in random places. Like we have Finro, Charmy, and Zora taking the taking on the Lucius copies that that those two were fighting to send Yuno and Asta and Lucius, because those are the only two that Lucius considers to be true threats to his world vision. Then we have, I believe, Gordon then appearing and maybe helping in the healing process with, I think, Charlotte and William. I think Real is appears with Gauche and Marie for some fucking reason. Don't tell me that Marie's gonna participate, gonna do more against these copies and fucking captains. Appear with Real to go up against, I think, a copy or an angel. Then I think we have Vanessa and Gray appearing with to go against some of the or against some of the angels and Lucy as copies where with Noel where Noel is fighting, which I guess kind of was foreshadowed with Vanessa teaming up with two witches who are personality wise similar to Noel and Gray. And I cannot remember where Henry was. Maybe he was with Gordon, but I'm blanking on it right now because I know Noct is with each guy in Yami. But regardless, we have those poses, which is pretty much what this chapter is there. To have cool poses with this, as then we end this chapter off with Yuno and Asta having a straight line to go towards Lucius. And yeah, a cool chapter on a weekly basis, but a chapter that's really not good for like 3 month release schedule. So yeah, we're kind of alright with this. We're just gonna end it here. Kind of disappointed, but I'm not really that surprised that we got something like that. Usually we do spend like chapters with with setting all these fights up. Which I do hope we don't do like a thing where we focus on all of these, have like a chapter to focus on all of these fights, because like I'm sorry, but you can only have so many Lucius and these angels getting destroyed until it's just boring and lame. Like these are not interesting antagonists. These are just copies of the same fucking generic thing, sending a bunch of flexing their mana around and getting beaten. Like I don't like maybe a chapter to have all of these be destroyed, but only one is just boring and lame. But yeah, anyways, and then we get to the final chapter of the week, where Black Clover chapter 371, titled Indestructible Souls. So yeah. Now this chapter, for some reason, focuses on back on Meliona versus Morris, because I guess we couldn't end this fight faster. But yeah, anyways, we have Meliona versus Morris, where we have like the final Crimson Lion King's member getting killed to get like the opening, which makes me kind of question on time. Wasn't it implied they were already destroyed when Meliona was going for that attack? Previous, I guess that never really clicked. It was just kind of an ending of a chapter, just so we could have an, I guess, epic chapter end with Meliona going for a kick punch. But Death Punch really doesn't go nowhere because it doesn't. I don't think. I don't. It doesn't even like damage. I think or hit Morris here. It's just kind of there. But anyways, we have then a little bit of focus on Morris of all people, as Morris uses Earth Magic, March of the Holy Fools, which is what he fused the Crimson Lion Kings for what they did against him. But I'm not saying this is supposed to be just a generic Earth Magic because the angels have like all forms of magic apparently, even though they only use the elemental forms. If we're being totally honest to ourselves. But regardless, if this is supposed to be just that, or if this is more as Supreme Ring Devil, because that would fit the magic that Supreme Ring Devils have. Like Nock and Nama and Lilith had ice and fire, and think Baal was the one that Damnatio had, and his magic was, I think, wind. I think it was said something like atmosphere, but I think it's supposed to be taken as wind. But so this earth magic is probably also from a Supreme Devil. Like the whole Supreme Devils will just kind of drop really quickly. Kind of makes me wonder why we even had that arc. If it's just gonna be all dropped, or why we had all this low setup. If it's just gonna be dropped so quickly. But regardless, Ball more uses this earth magic to go up against Meliona. And then we also get like a little reminder of why this guy should really be fighting Mars and not Meliona, because he says that how he, in his time, he researched so many people, he caught up, he experimented on so many. So we get like this cartoonishly evil side where we have him like working in a laboratory, as we see like a bunch of corpses just being randomly thrown together. Like they didn't even fucking remove them. It was like, alright, this person died, throw away. Alright, this person died, throw away. Alright, this person died, throw away. Like sideways, was to, I guess, make us hate and really want him to be punched. But it's again, all of these atrocities are done to the Diamond Kingdom citizens, so it doesn't really kick as much when Meliona beats this guy. And we already knew Morse was doing so. It's like just another repeat of information, which isn't the only thing, because we also get like a bunch of repeat information for Meliona. As we have a bit of a flashback with Meliona, remembering her life being like, oh, she's such a natural talent, so naturally capable, so strong that no one wanted to challenge her, no one wanted to fight her, no one could rival her. Which kind of makes you wonder why. What about Fagolia, since those two always got talk together? I mean, we even get a little bit of a scene later, but with those two, so it's kind of odd. Honestly, this is also kind of a drop thing where Meliona and Fagolia, who's really stronger, because right now it's pretty definitive, unarguable. Like, whoever's trying to argue that Fagolia and Meliona are equal is just coping at this point, because again, Meliona is just definitively said to be the strongest, which is again kind of disappointing. So she just went into the strong magic region because she was naturally this powerful. Which again kind of does question the whole hard work versus natural talent, because essentially Meliona was able to get right to the peak of power and all, but she couldn't really get surpass every single limit. Well, one limit specifically. But yeah, anyways, then we have Fugolion appearing, getting his participation trophy, basically, which like It looks like he's gonna team up with Melion, which would kind of make this fight a bit better if it was like all the three Vermilion siblings together. But besides the fact that we completely forgot about Leopold's existence, Fogolian also doesn't really do much. Like, he shows up and it's supposed to be like this impressive feat, I guess, where he's like, oh, he took down so many angels! He took down so many Lucius copies! Which, again, I'm thinking Lucius copies are weaker in Paladin because of, otherwise it would just be kind of a BS if they are all stronger than Lucius, or they're all equal to Lucius copies. Actually, I don't think they mentioned if he took down Lucius copies. I think they just saying that he took down enemies or just angels or something, but it doesn't really matter. We just have him appearing, and it looks like they're gonna like team up or do some kind of combined attack like they against Lucifer Pharaoh. But no, Meliona just develops ultimate flame magic Excelicitus Leonam, which gives her own like little summoning spell where she summons the spirits, I wanna say, of the Crimson Lion King's members, the ones who sacrificed them so she could waste her opportunity on a strike. As they're all there, as she's like, alright everyone, you'll stay strong with me and we'll fight because thanks to your spirits I finally managed to like grabs the spell. You know how against Lucifero she at the end of the fight because the mother couldn't have someone as popular as Meliona be beaten by a conventional means. They had her. They needed some kind of BS side effect of using a spell thing so she could lose and be taken out of the fight. Yeah, we have this now being solved with her. Instead of like this fusing, but thanks to seeing the people doing their actions, these deeds for her, she managed to realize how souls and all those things work. So she used them to like complete her form. Now her form is just like the form that I think Lilith and Amar took when they were fight before they fused together against Noct, which surprises more. Be like, what? This state is only something that gods like that those of us chosen by God to do. Because throughout the chapter, he's kind of like bit like, I was chosen by God. I was chosen to be something great. I was chosen to do something. But unfortunately for Moraz, despite all his blabbering and all that, he's not gonna be able to surpass Meliona because this fight only exists so the Meliona fans are gonna be eating something more before the series ends. It's like the Geralt fight versus the captains. The only reason is because, and the reason that the only ones who actually do anything against them is because they're the most popular captains and given the screen time. I understand that, but it doesn't really have much of a purpose to the story, so we just have Meliona developing that spell with her as the souls of the members of the Crimson Lion Kings charge and destroy the creations, as Meliona goes to punch him, and well, it's kind of ambiguous if she defeated Morse. I don't think we're gonna have. I guess gives me the feeling like we are ending this fight. It's like a dragged out fight. No one cares about it. The ones who should actually be having it aren't even in the kingdom yet. And in general, I don't think wasting another chapter on this fight would be a good idea, especially because how little the Black Clover chapters are even being released right now. So yeah, it's just kind of there, and we end this fight with Meliona blasting Morris because she doesn't give a shit about it. Like, no one does. Again, like, Morris really lost all his hype after, like he had this spear about he got this power and all that before, and he was just randomly punched by a random member of the Black Bulls, and now it's just the same spear in a different form, in different skin, and only against Melion. Like, you're just a punching bag at this point, Morris. But yeah, anyways, I hope you like these reactions. I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters that came out this week in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.